Always was. He told me, no, I love it. I mean, he loved it, right? He loved it. He wanted it, but he would have never done it with me. Zero chance, zero chance. So sad, so sad. So many things have happened. You know what else would have happened to you? You would have had no inflation. I had no inflation. You would have had inflation was caused by the stupid energy policy that you drove the energy through the roof. That's what I'm thinking. To bring back millions of jobs, we will give our companies the lowest taxes, the lowest energy costs, the lowest regulatory burdens, and free access to the best and biggest market on the planet. And this mic is much heavier than the other one. I can do it. I will lift up my muscle. But only for those who make their product here in the USA and hire American workers for the job. And if these companies don't make their products here in the USA, then they will be forced to pay a first shift job. When they send their products into the United States for the privilege of competing with our workers and taking our workers' jobs, we will now have protecting companies. These companies will not leave because they're going to be protected by tariffs, because they can't be undercut. You know, I took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China. Nobody talks about it. Those guys don't, they don't talk about anything. They only talk about man. They only talk about fake news. But we took in hundreds of billions with a B dollars from China. No other president took in 10 cents. Oh, you know, I almost said the name. Mrs. Obama is nasty. What was that all about? What was that all about, Scott Walker? Nasty. Oh, look, it's Tommy Thompson. Holy mackerel. Is there Tommy Thompson around now? Stand up, guy. Stand up, Scott. Tommy, I got along with him back in 2016. I wanted to go to Wisconsin so bad. He said, it's great. You are a very difficult say. But I wanted to be good. I did, but despite your difficulty, I actually wanted to twice with these minor details. But Tommy Thompson, and he's a long-time governor, a long-time pro. I said, what do you think, Tommy? I have a big meeting. And it's hard to have all these states when you go to the States. And he said, sir, you're wasting your time if you come to Wisconsin. I said, I don't feel that way, Tommy. I had like one of these deals, except with fewer people, to be honest. It would become more popular with time. But it was good. I said, I don't think so. He said, sir, I'm telling you, you're wasting your time. But here's what I'll do. I don't want you to go to Pennsylvania. Go to Michigan, go to these places you have to win. Don't do it, sir. But here's what I'm going to do. I never forgot it. It was the weirdest thing. He said, sir, don't do it. But if I feel you can win it, or if I feel you're going to win it, if something happens over the next couple of months, I'll call you and you can do it then. He said, wow, that's a great idea. So 3 weeks go by and I get a phone call. They said, sir, there's a Governor Tommy Thompson on the phone. I said, who the hell is that? You sort of forget, right? You know, it's like you focus on it. I said, no, it's like Tommy. So I said, hi, Tommy, how are you doing? What's up? Sir, it's time for you to get in that little chopper and come right up to Wisconsin. You're going to win this time. I was up here so fast, I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe you could travel that fast. No, I would want to. We had a great victory. And I will say this, we're much more popular, this is a much bigger movement. You know, Make America Great Again, not again. It's the greatest movement by far in the history. We've never been anything like it. And people don't even fight it anymore, really, they don't win. But it's the greatest movement, and when Biden was doing that thing with the purple background, you remember that? You look like the devil, right? Remember that? Sebastian, have you gotten taller, Sebastian? What's going on? Sebastian, you remember what he said? Do they not receive you? He's giving you the applause to Cole. He's a great guy. Does everybody listen to his show? He's been loyal. I'll tell you one thing, that guy was working through a wicked thing. And he even came up, he said, the president is innocent.
Bring him
I
up.
said, oh, thank you, Sebastian. He was sad. I don't know exactly what it is. No, Sebastian's been great. He's been a very good loyal friend, a really good friend, and really talented guy, smart. But we are now more popular. This is the week, you know, you know, they used to say, these are stupid people, they used to say, you ramble, no ramble, and you're a weed. You know what a weed is? It's a story. And as you're telling the story, you realize that there's a little offshoot, go up here, but the key is that you have to come back. And then you go to the story, getting down to the bottom line, and boom, you do another little weed. Sometimes you do a week before you disappear. It's totally. And one guy got right, this Trump is a totally brilliant guy. He says, look, I never said it, because you always have to end up in the right place, so then you're rambling, you know, then you're rambling. But no, I have a very fertile brain, but it's the weave that we do it, and it covers a lot of territory. This way you tell one story and you cover it. You know, it's like 15 subplots. But you get down to the final answer. And actually, it's funny to say it. You know who said it? You know who said it? Rogan. Did anyone see it? It's called long form. Joe Rogan. It's called long form. See, one of them, when you're talking, and you don't have to rush your answer, cram it in, right? I like the way I went 60 minutes in this part of the week. I like the way 60 minutes. And you know what? Because she doesn't do a week. She doesn't know where the hell she is. She gave the worst answer I've ever heard to a question. One of the main questions was 60 minutes. Kamala was, you can't call her Harris, because nobody knows who Harris is. Have you seen Harris lately? Who the hell is Harris? So you call her Kamala. But on 60 Minutes, they did something that was amazing. I think it's the worst scandal in the history of broadcast. I think it's the worst. She gave an answer which showed that she was grossly incompetent. Grossly, it was depressing. It was just like all words. They had no meaning, no effect. They took the entire answer. They said, just we just look at something. They took the entire answer out, threw it away, and they took an answer down here that had nothing to do with it, which was still crappy, but at least you could make a case. So they took the answer out and they put it in a new answer. And I said, that's terrible. This is it's part of the news division. They get free licensing. They weren't idiots, by the way, but they get the government brilliantly gives it to them for nothing, and they're all crooked. ABC's crooked as well. Look at this David Miller, he was asking stuff. This is a pretty boy. And his hair's not as good as it used to be, by the way. It used to be much better. But you know what? He was asking stuff. I said, what the hell is he asking? He said, crime went down. I said, oh, yeah. And then the following day, right, it came out, crime was up 49%. It's terrible. What 60 Minutes did is unbelievable. They took the answer out and replaced it with another answer. You gotta see them trying to explain, Sebastian. They're trying to explain why they did that one. Did you ever do that? Would you ever do that? See, he may do that for me, but I don't think so. And he did, we wouldn't be talking about that. But I don't want people to do that. You know what they do? They take mine is a beautiful, beautiful answer. But here's what they do. They cut out part of the weed, but it doesn't sound so good anymore. But what 60 Minutes did at CBS, I think the license should be taken away from CBS. And I think that 60 Minutes should be forced to either close or take a very extended stay. And I'll tell you what, if a conservative broadcaster ever did what they did, it would be the end of their lives. Everybody would be in jail. Everybody would be in jail. What they did. And so in our view, we sued them yesterday for a lot of money. I sued them, and we call it election interference fraud. It's election interference fraud.
They're gonna try it again,
And
Sam.
I don't think there's any real way, I don't believe there's any way they can even answer to one another the truth. But as we rescue our economy, I will restore our borders, because I think that's your biggest problem. I did restore them. I think that's a very dangerous people. Look at these beautiful people you're being dispersed with murderers, drug dealers, terrorists. Do we have any in the house right now? Over the past 4 years, Kamala has orchestrated the most egregious betrayal that any leader in American history has ever inflicted on our people. She's violated her oath, eradicated our sovereign border, and unleashed an army of gangs and criminal migrants from prisons and jails, insane asylums and mental institutions all around the world, from the Congo in Africa to Venezuela. You know, Venezuela crime is down by 72%. Because they put their criminals into the United States of America. Thank you. Thank you. You're stealing. And they're stealing countless American lives. We see that in a couple of minutes. It's horrible what's going on. It's a terrible situation. Today I want to hear directly from a mother whose world has been absolutely shattered. This is a young, beautiful mother who I met at one of the rallies, and we said, do you mind if we do this? She said, it's so, I had some of the toughest people I've ever seen, but they were all crying with this. So just wait to see this, please.
Sunday, I chose not to stay up super late because of her coming to work with me in the morning, first to get her son to school. She said, okay, I told her good night, and I love you. I went to bed, not realizing that that was going to be the last time I saw her. My best friend.
Yo, hit that little joke.
I woke up to notice she was in bed. I'm in my heart trying not to lose my mind because I don't know where she is. I finally remembered her phone had a location on, and her phone was pinging just 2 minutes down the road, right behind the skate park. I start driving to the direction the phone was being pinged at, and I see a couple cars with lights on. I see yellow tape, and immediately my heart drops and sinks to the bottom of my stomach. My daughter's hands and ankles were both bound. She was strangled to death, left with no pants.
Sad.
And I know in my heart, she fought incredibly hard. She was not going down without a fight.
We begin with 2 men. We're learning are charged with capital murder tonight, accused of killing a 12-year-old girl.
Police say these men strangled her before dumping her into that creek. Both men were in the country illegally.
Apprehended, then released by Border Patrol less than 3 weeks before Jocelyn's death. The men accused of killing Jocelyn Nungare are affiliated with the gang known for brutal violence.
Kamala Harris was in charge of immigration in our borders. If we had better border policies and not open borders and not these catch and release policies, I truly believe this all could have been prevented. Under her being vice president of this country, my daughter's life was ripped away from her. She had her entire life ahead of her. Happy birthday, dear Jocelyn. My daughter is 6 feet in the ground, based off of policies that she allowed to keep. Kamala Harris did have one job, and she
failed.
not only failed, not me, she failed my daughter, she failed Jocelyn, and she was only 12. President Trump reached out, gave me his sincerest condolences as not a former president, just as a father, someone who cares. I believe Donald Trump needs to be back in office. I can at least know that my next child will be safe in this country.
Yeah.
This is what we're letting into our country. This is what we're letting in. And you can take that scene and multiply it times thousands, whether it's on highways, whether it's just shootings, plane shootings. These are rough people, rough people. And we can't take it. And it's the worst thing that's happening to our country. I think it's the worst thing that's happened to our country in decades. Nobody's ever even imagined a thing where other countries will take their prisons and open them and drop everybody, thousands of their prisoners. You know what they save by doing that? And I know most of the heads of these countries. It's like, they can't believe they got away with it. And as soon as I heard we were going to have open borders, I said, I know immediately that that's what's going to be done. They're opening their jails and their prisons and their mental institutions, and they're becoming empty.
I got a phone holder, my arms are getting tired.
All over the world, this isn't, all over the world, this isn't just in South America, it's not just
True.
Guatemala, Mexico,
Spain.
Honduras, you know, you think in terms of literature, these are all over the world.
Poland.
Big in the Congo, big, they're sending them over big, tough, and they're mean. The day I take the oath of office, the migrant invasion ends and the restoration.
Yeah! Yeah!
The savages charged with brutalizing and murdering Precious Jocelyn are members of the same vicious Venezuelan prison gang, Tren de Aragua, that's taking over apartment complexes and unleashing violent killing sprees all over America. All over America, think of it. They're in Colorado. I think Colorado's going to vote for Trump. You know what they did? They were the ones that led the thing to get me up. I was the leading candidate of both parties, leading the Republicans and leading the Democrats 1-to-1. I was the leading candidate. And then they talk about a threat to democracy. And that governor, a radical left lunatic who's petrified of the gangs that have taken over his state, this guy went and told his people to try and get me off the ballot. Can you imagine that? That would have been a fine mess.
Fucked up!
That would have been a fine mess for the country. Went to the Supreme Court of the United States, 1-9-0, because even the justices that were liberal in trial, they said, you can't do that, you gotta beat him at the ballot box. It was
How do we stop it from cheating?
as a 9-0, but this guy in Colorado did it, and you know who hated him the most? Are the Democrats in Colorado. They thought it was terrible. The United States is now an occupied country, but it will soon be an occupied country no longer. November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America.
Yeah!
And as anyone ever wants to launch this deportation program,
Right.
I will rescue every city and town that has been invaded.
You're in Chicago?
These towns have been conquered. Think of what that means. Conquered.
Especially
And
Chicago.
we will put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail or kick them the hell out of our country immediately. And to expedite removals of Tren de Aragua criminals and MS-13 criminals, which are just about as bad. We took out thousands of MS-13s. You know, they love doing that. Listen to that. You know, two beautiful girls, 16 years old, were walking to school one day, and MS-13 attacked the two girls, and they sliced them up with knives.
Sad.
They didn't want to shoot them because that's too quick and not painful enough. They took, and they killed both girls. And it's lucky that we have ICE around because ICE was extremely good. And this fool that we have running for president without having gotten one single vote to his 14 million votes, this fool wanted to defund ICE. We want to defund ICE. If you defunded ICE, you had nobody that's tough enough to go in there and get these animals out of our country. She wanted to defund us. I will invoke and this is incredible because we had to go back so far. I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. That's when we ran a tough country. To target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil. And if they come back into our country, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole.
Yeah! I say yeah to
For the death
acknowledge
penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen.
like this one.
And I will immediately ban all sanctuary cities in the United States of America.
Yeah!
Despite all the damage she has caused, Kamala has spent the final week of her
put our country
campaign
in a dump.
comparing her political opponents to the most evil mass murderers
real.
in history. You know that, right? All of us. You, me.
Fire the bitch.
2 days ago, Joe Biden called our supporters garbage. You know that garbage? That's worse than deplorables. Remember Hillary? How did that work out with deplorables? Well, garbage is working out even worse for them. They called you, all of us, garbage with garbage. And I believe we have 250 million people. I believe we have most of the country is about making America great again.
Yeah!
And my response to Joe and Kamala is very simple. You can't lead America if you don't love Americans. You just can't do it.
Let's go, Brandon! Joe Biden!
You can't be president if you hate the American people. And I actually think they hate the American people. She's not a good person. You know, her help, 95% of her help left. You know, when she was in the DA's office,
Yeah, baby. Hello. What's up?
she made everybody stand in
I didn't drive all this way and I
attention.
haven't finished drinking this.
Good morning, madam. Good morning, they were told to say. Good morning, madam district
You're covered,
attorney. Stand up at attention.
Well, Saturday.
She's not a good person. Kamala's closing message to Americans is that I believe she hates you. I do believe that. I do believe that. My closing message is that I love America and I'm inviting you to join us in building an extraordinary future for our nation.
Yeah! He's not done talking, dude. Babe, he's not even done yet.
Allegiance to you, the American people. We're going to straighten
Because they
this
think he's
mess
done
out.
and he's not.
It's a mess. It's an incompetent mess. I mean, she can't answer. She can't. I see her being interviewed yesterday. She can't answer a question. She goes all over the place. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. She's crazy. It's crazy. I'm asking for your vote. But I want you to know that whether you vote for me or not, when I win, I will fight for you with every breath of my life.
Vote, 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 vote.
I took a lot of heat about 2 months ago because I said, I think women like me. I do. I think the suburban house. I think it's a con job by these people. I think it's a lot of crap. But I think they do. And I said, I think they like me because they know I'm going to protect them. And they said, oh, it's such a horrible thing. I want to protect the women of our country. I want to protect them in many ways. I want to protect them in many ways, but some of the ways are suburban housewives. They say don't like me. I think they do like me because she said, I love you. Where do you live? We have
Come on,
football
baby.
rushers together. A little snack. Illinois.
Yeah! Illinois! What's Illinois red?
You may have the worst governor.
Fuck yeah! I say we got the worst governor. Yes, we do.
Thank you very much.
Hey, is that Pritzker sucks? Is it Pritzker sucks? I get on that.
The good people, but they threw him out because he was not very good, and he ends up running for.
Who, Blagojevich?
He got money, but he's not. But I'm not allowed to use.
Pritzker! Oh, I lost my voice. You do it.
You are not allowed.
Pritzker! I can't do it. I lost my voice. Pritzker sucks.
Her entire campaign is one hoax and slander.
I was losing my voice.
But the more they lie, the more they smear, the more you need to get out and vote. We're going to get rid of these people. We're going to get rid of them. The only way to stop the lies is to swamp them. We got to swamp them. Swamp them with that vote. Swamp the vote. Kamala has no vision. She has
Damn
no
right.
ideas. She's got no brain power. She's got no solutions. All she can talk about, did you see it the other night? All she can talk about is Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump.
Tonight I will speak
Look, baby.
Donald Trump, 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 Donald Trump,
God damn.
Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump.
Hold on, baby. So what's
Donald Trump.
You know, there are some people who thrive under pressure, and there are some people who crack under pressure. She cracks under pressure. And the more pressure Kamala is under, the worse she crumbles.
What are those police
She
doing down there?
is, at this point, very rattled. You take
We got like a SWAT team down there.
She may, is there a chance she would resign before the election?
Sort of. Hopefully.
I actually think they should have left Joe. I think he would have done just as well. And it's come out today upon extremely good authority of the press, therefore it's no authority. But it's come out today that Joe Biden likes me more than he likes Kamala. He would rather have me than Kamala.
I bet.
They took away his president. Time in the history of the presidency.
Oh, snap.
Presidency from him. He would rather have me win. Actually, I think psychologically he's better off. It's a much better story. What they did is terrible. They went in and they said, "You're out, Joe." Can you imagine you're the president of the United States and you have crazy Nancy. She's crazy as a baby.
Crazy Nancy.
Crazy Nancy, who had a lot of Visa stock, and she sold it one day before it was announced that Visa's under major investigation.
Oh, how that happened?
And the fake news doesn't do anything about it.
And North Carolina and South Carolina.
Who couldn't do an interview with Joe Rogan, who frankly is very fair. I call him tough but fair.
Joe
He's
Rogan's
a
good.
great guy. You know, we had the largest, it was the biggest interview he did me last week, as you might have heard.
Yeah, I saw it.
That he's ever done. In terms of over 100 million, much more than 100 million. How much? Like 100. Where is TikTok, Jack? He knows everything. This TikTok is a TikTok. You know, they're 20 years old and they're working. I had a guy TikTok Jack. When they turn 20, they're finished. So they're too old, much too old.
She made me come here. Hold on.
Then you get sued for age discrimination.
It's literally 10:30. I want
If
to
she can't
Seven
handle
late.
an interview, then she can't handle certainly President Xi
You're
of
gonna wait till
China.
everybody leaves. So
President
I allow
Putin would have never done it. She
Wait,
can't handle
wait.
anything. She's not equipped for that. She's not a president.
It's not like that.
She'll get overwhelmed, melt down, and millions of people will die. You're gonna die. This is not a charity event. This is an election for the biggest and toughest job anywhere in the world. This is
And we can see if the lights right here or again.
the most at stake, right? Do you want to lose your life savings because we put a weak and foolish and incompetent person in the White House? I don't know.
No!
You want to lose your job and maybe your house and pension because Kamala has the economic understanding of a child?
No!
The presidency
I don't.
is a job held
I'm
by
gonna scream. I have a
Teddy
headache.
Roosevelt,
David.
Abraham Lincoln, Dwight Eisenhower,
Okay.
George Washington.
You should ask this guy to sit down.
People of strength and intelligence.
This guy's blocking me.
People that have a leadership quality. Would you trust Kamala Harris to talk with Russia or China about nuclear war? I don't think so. I really don't. Would you trust her to steer us out of an economic crisis? I don't think so.
Huh?
Nothing is more dangerous than to give immense power to a very weak and incompetent person with an extremely low
What else can you tell this
IQ.
guy to sit down?
We had enough of low IQs in the last 4 years. We don't need. We can't go through another person who's a dummy. We can't do it. You wouldn't put Kamala Harris in charge of even a kindergarten class. You can't do it. So at the end of the day, you need to ask yourself, can you afford to put someone this incompetent in charge of our country's future?
No.
No, you can't. No, you can't. But on top of it all, Kamala says she would not do anything different. Not one thing different than Joe Biden did. In other words, she should not run for office because he was the worst ever. Take a
I
look.
don't like what it is.
You have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years.
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
I stood there on the tarmac watching you check your watch.
The chaotic and deadly U.S. evacuation from Afghanistan stunned Americans and the world and cost the lives of 13 U.S. soldiers. Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
More than 13,000 illegal immigrants convicted of murder have been caught at the border and then released into the United
Huh?
States.
Afghan national was in custody today after being accused of plotting an election-day terrorist attack. The subject entered the U.S. on a special immigrant
I have
visa.
it.
Crunching you details of the murder of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. The illegal immigrant suspect who cops say committed a heinous murder is a Venezuelan national across the unsecured southern border back in
This one's a
2020.
little
Two men investigators say are in the country illegally from Venezuela on charges of capital murder and the death of Jocelyn Nungaray.
A fifth illegal immigrant accused of attacking 2 New York City police officers over the weekend showed no remorse or regret.
Would you have done something differently?
There is not a thing that comes to mind.
Over 18% say the economy is in excellent good condition.
US inflation has hit a new 40-year high, increasing by 9.1% over the financial year.
Authorities say Train Day Aragua, which has been linked with more than 100 criminal investigations here in the U.S., has now been found operating its criminal enterprise in apartment complexes.
Are you the last person in the room? Yes.
There is nothing that would come to mind. Can you imagine? How about the 325,000 children that she could have saved if she
For real.
had the correct policy? No, she doesn't want to bring that up either. No.
For real. She don't want to talk about
She actually
that.
would have changed things, but she couldn't think of it. You know, she didn't have enough time. She only had about 4 days to prepare. If you want to end this disaster, you must get out and vote. We're going to solve this problem very quickly. It's going to happen fast. It's going to be beautiful to watch. We're pleased to be joined today by your next senator from the great state of Wisconsin, Eric Hovde. Eric, thank you very much. Have a great career. A good man, a good man, loves the state. And he has said this is central casting. And I'll tell you what, she is a disaster. Okay, she's a horror show. Thanks as well to Senators Ron Johnson. Ron, stand up. Good man. He's a good man. He really is. Thank you, Ron. Great job. Great job. Thank you. We have a man who's just become recently, he was a great attorney general. And he's now a senator. He won a big race, a tough race, a race that everyone said, well, there's no way anybody's going to win this race. They beat somebody that was supposed to win. And he's become a star in the Senate. Eric Schmidt. Eric, thank you. Thank you. And from the great state of Oklahoma, I love Oklahoma. You know, they have 77 counties. And I won all 77. You know who second was? Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan is second. He won 56. I won 77. I have to move there immediately. I have to move. Mark Wayne Mullen. Thank you, Mark Wayne. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mark Wayne. And we have Representatives Brian Stile. How are you doing with the Act of Blue or whatever it's called? Got to get it done before the election. He's working on one of the biggest scandals in the country. It's like where the Democrats put money into Act Blue or whatever the hell they call it, and massive amounts of money, and everybody's talking, and he's in charge. So we're going to blame you if nothing happens, right? No, but everybody knows it was a rip. But honestly, you got to get this stuff done before elections. So we learned that. They're finding all sorts of things now in Pennsylvania. Who knows how to do this? But good luck with that, Brian. That's so important. Okay? Thanks. Good luck. Scott Fitzgerald. Scott, thank you very much. Thank you. Great. Good job you're doing. Kevin Hearn. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. These are warriors, by the way. And a real warrior. He grew up here. When he moved to Texas, he's one of the most popular guys in Texas. He's a congressman. He could do anything he wanted. They love him. And he actually asked for a leave of absence. He said, if you don't mind, I'd like to go to Wisconsin, where I grew up. I want to help the president win that state. He left Texas. And you know what Texas said? We love you for doing it because we have no problem. You know, we win Texas by a lot. This is always a little bit tighter. It shouldn't be tighter. It should be the same thing. Oh, I wish it was the same thing. Texas has been so good. But you know, they view him as a hero for doing this, as opposed to, gee, why is he not in Texas? And he's been up here for 4 months. He's got his brothers helping him. He's a great congressman, and he's a fantastic man, Troy Nels. Thank you, Troy. Your brothers stand up. You're probably going to stand up, fellas. Boy, but the whole family came up here. Really, they came up just to help me. It was so really incredible. And candidate for Congress, I don't want to mess with this guy's a big, powerful man, Randy Niemeyer. Thank you. Look at the size of that guy. I met him backstage, Scott. I met him, and I said, and former governors, Scott Walker and Tommy Thompson. Great people. Thank you, Scott. Great. Two great guys. A very respected man in D.C. and here, a friend of mine, a great lawyer, Reince Priebus. Reince? Thank you, Reince. Thank you, Reince. And we love Bobby Kennedy, didn't we? Yeah! Everybody loves him. You know how to deal with him. Because he's really into the environment, but he's really into health. I say, Bobby, you take care of health. You work on those potatoes and work on those oranges. You work on